I look like 1.5 miles now. I don't look like 3 miles no more, you know?
Mm.
Oh, man. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Share the Vibes Podcast. I am your host, Jink the DJ, founder CEO of Share the Vibes LLC. I feel like I look really good in this MacBook camera. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm in 4K right now. I ain't used to this, man. I'm just over here. I'm feeling myself a little bit, and I'm ugly right now, but it's cool though. So, hey, man, welcome to another episode, Share the Vibes Podcast. I am Jink DJ, founder CEO of Share the Vibes LLC. Glad to have you with us for another episode with another special guest because every guest is special. Nothing's changed. We still rocking like that. So I'm excited to get into today's conversation. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment below. You're watching this on YouTube. Click that bell so you know when we post, and share this with somebody who needs to hear the conversation because you know somebody who needs to hear the conversation. Don't be stingy. Share the vibes. I know that's what we all about over here, man. We share the love. We don't gatekeep the vibes over here. We share them. Sharing is caring. All right. That's what we on, man. So hope y'all been doing well. It's starting to warm up around here. But let's see if that's true across the country. But 1J, how you doing, brother? How's the weather in Milwaukee?
Doing pretty good, man. It's staying about the 50s and 60s, and sometimes we get up to the 70s, which is not too bad. We had a lot of rain within the last couple of weeks for sure. It was a little windy today as well. So, like I said, it's just on and off. You know how that go in Milwaukee, man. You get some good days and get some bad days, but hey, as the
Yeah,
songwriter said, I won't complain.
my
Um,
lord.
yeah. So,
Come on now.
um, but yeah, everything's all good. I've been starting to feel my age. I've been
Hold
waking
on
up.
now. All right.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been waking up, bones been aching and stuff. I'm like, hold on now.
Yeah.
And I have finally embraced the word unk. At first
Mm-hmm.
I was against it. I was like, no, I'm bro, I'm 34, I'm big bro, but June 18th will be among us very shortly. So I
Mm-hmm.
let me go ahead and lean into it. So I have a live TikTok show coming up. Well, I did it actually Sunday, Marina,
Okay.
which was funny. It's called Chopping It Up with Unc. And my students was in there and I was just playing different not video games, playing different games with folks that the little random chat feature that's on TikTok that we did before.
Yeah.
Um yeah, some very interesting things happened during that process, but it was fun though, man. It was a good time. I came back to school today. My students were like, "Mr. Thompson, you was on live. It was crazy. Like, can't believe you were talking to that person. And did you know that person?" And it was funny. So, um, we're gonna turn that into something. So, chopping it will be something.
Okay.
Something coming out of it soon. So we'll figure.
Yeah.
It should be fun though.
No, I love it, bro. So speaking of Marina sent me your TikTok live last night, but
I
I
did.
was knocked out. I did not see that until about 9, 10 o'clock this morning, brother.
That was funny.
But I was between calls, like, oh, she did send this.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, with I was out of here at that time. So yeah, man. We actually took the girls to it was all of our first time to one of the national drag races. So they
Oh,
had
okay.
the NHRA, no clue what it stands for, but NHRA four wide championships. That's what it was. It
Mm.
was drag racing. It's like different classes of it. So yeah, man, we shout out to Hope Kids. I think I've talked about them before. But if you don't know, my daughters have sickle cell SC, and there's an organization called Hope Kids
Mhm.
that puts on free events and things like that throughout the year for children and their families of those kids that have like life-threatening illnesses. So, sickle cell, cancer, leukemia. There's like a family that who wanted the son has had like I think he said 3 brain surgeries at this point, and he's like younger than 10, probably younger than 5. So it's a way just to give some of these kids that have to go through those experiences, some sense of normalcy, and allow them to still have, memorable experiences as they grow up so they can enjoy their adolescence in spite of their conditions. So, shout out to them. Shout out to Hope Kids. They gave us an opportunity to go to the NHRA drag race. We were in the suite. So that was pretty dope. So yeah, that was cool. But all that to say, in our suite, they had chicken tenders, they
Okay.
had a nacho bar, they had beer and wine for the adults. So my nourishment yesterday was wine, chicken tenders, nachos, and half a funnel cake that I split with Drika. And I'm speaking of unk status. I'm at the age now where like I gotta have a well balance, man. I need some vegetables in my life.
Ah,
I need something to be baked or grilled. So
yeah,
we got home last night. I'm like, I just don't feel good. Like I just wanted to go to sleep. So yeah. So I'm glad I got my 3 miles in and I got me a nice little Cobb salad with the
nice.
grilled nuggets on it from Chick-fil-A. And I know I feel like I've redeemed myself now. So besides the whole kids, we had a good time. But all that to say, I definitely was in that TikTok live last night because I was knocked out, brother. I wasn't even thinking about
That's
TikTok by the
funny.
time you hit that live button. So yeah, man. But anyhow, make sure y'all tap in with Audio Moguls Media. We're glad members of the Audio Moguls Podcast Network. Um, if music and technology isn't your thing, not sure why you're here, but I'm glad you are. But there are plenty of podcasts that will be your thing on the network. So tap in with them doing some dope things out there. And y'all know my 1J always up to something, man. He probably got a drone in Egypt right now or something. He just be doing stuff.
Mhm.
So shout out to my 1J, the visionary and all he's doing. And thank y'all for rocking with us. So we're gonna get into it, man. Another special guest. This is one of Charlotte's own here today. So y'all know I'm being more intentional about trying to get out here and really like build up the network in the Charlotte area. Been here like 3.5 years now, so I should have been done it. But hey, dude, we ain't talking about the past. We talking about the present right now
Yeah.
and building for the future. So yeah, we got Miss Cydney Irby on with us tonight. Cydney, how you doing, ma'am?
I am good. Maybe a little tired, but we're not gonna talk about it.
Hey,
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. You here. You here. That's all right. But we glad to have you on. So I always like to tell the story how I met our guests, how I got connected. So Cydney and I, one of my more recent connections from all of the podcast guests we typically have, but we met, I believe that was early March. It was either like late February, or early March, something like that. But Charlotte is creative. They put on these very dope events. If you're in the Charlotte area or you passing through town and you see one coming up, you should pop out. But Charlotte is creative. They host these events every so often called reciprocity circles,
mm,
and super dope concept. You pull up, and it's different business owners, entrepreneurs, just different creatives in general. So like I met a photographer that does like self portraits and stuff, self photography. Met Cydney, who's gonna tell you all the dope stuff she does. Y'all know what I do here with Share the Vibes. But it's just like people doing different things. Like somebody was in like, hey, I do marketing and user experience. I'm trying to help out like medical clinics and hospitals and stuff. You connected her with a doctor I know. So it's like all that type of stuff goes on. But you pull up all these different creatives. They put you in breakout groups and you come in there, you share what you do and you share one specific need you have. So let's say you're trying to host an event and you're looking for a venue space that has a sound system and can host 300 people. You would say, hey, I'm trying to host an event in July. I'm looking for a venue space that has a sound system in house and can host 300 people. And everybody has a paddle, kind of like an auction, but you're not auctioning anything. But everybody has a paddle. And if you are able to help with that resource, or you have a connection or something along those lines, you raise your paddle, they make a note of it, send out everyone's information afterwards, you follow up, and then you have the conversation, keep it going. So that's how the event goes. I met Cydney. We were both in the same circle. I'm at the most recent Reciprocity Circle event here in Charlotte. And I got to Cydney. It's like, what you do? And she was like, I do everything better
mhm.
than you. And then they got to me. I was like, hey, I'm here and I'm trying to like get my life together. And she was like, I can help you with that. So yeah, so that's kind of how it went. And she's one of the few people that I have actually talked to since the Reciprocity Circle. I got to do a better job of that. I always say I'm gonna follow with everybody, and I ain't did it yet. But I followed up more this time than I did the first one I went to, and I still plan to follow up with some people. So if you're listening, we're gonna top it up soon. But me and Cydney, we had a conversation. Super dope. And as we were talking, hey man, I gotta get you on the podcast. We gotta do that. So hey, here we are. So Cydney, what's up, man? What's up?
Oh my gosh, so much. Like, when I say, like, since we last talked, like, there's more that has happened, and I'm sitting
Yeah,
here like, "What's going on?"
love it,
In the
love
best
it.
in the best way. I told you, "Whatever God wants." That's my motto this year. So, like,
Come on
and when I
now.
say, like, just literally, like, whatever God wants, I'd be like, "What?" Like, I had a call at 5 o'clock. That call got canceled a few minutes before, and somebody else texted me like, "Hey, I'm in a mindset call. You should hop on." And I was like, "Okay." And so I hopped on that call. So, it's like, whatever God wants. That's how
Hey,
I'm moving.
love that.
Shundo, that'll preach. Come on now. Well, the oil is on us. We ain't 10 minutes in. The oil already flowing. Come on now.
That's how I am now. So
Come on now. Hey, Shundo, you bye. All right. So all right. Um so before we get into everything you got going on, cause yeah, who knows what we're gonna get into today. Let's see. We gotta break the ice. See you here in Charlotte. So I finally gave in and I hopped on Threads.
Oh, okay.
If not earlier this year, like late last year. So I'm less than a year in on Threads, but I finally gave in. And you know what I'm learning about Threads is that it's very geographic centric. So like I don't follow CLT threads or whatever. When anytime I get on Threads, I'm gonna see people talking about Charlotte stuff. I'm gonna see people talking about church stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Threads has an interesting algorithm. It's kind of cool. So nonetheless, when I hop on there, I tend to see people saying, where's the good food in Charlotte? There's no good food here. Or I see people saying, I've been here 6 months. I ain't figured out what to do yet. It ain't Atlanta or New York. I guess I haven't found my tribe. I haven't found my vibe, all that good stuff. So I guess Cydney, maybe for you, to break the ice, somebody's coming to Charlotte for the first time. They have 3 days.
Mhm.
What is one thing you would say they need to do to get a like true appreciation for the city? Let's go with that.
Ooh. I would say, as much as a lot of stuff is going on over there, probably Camp North End, like somewhere like Camp North End or Optimus Hall. If they
Yeah.
want to be immersed in something that's a little bit different than most people experience, but see a lot of creative, see a lot of different people, be able to like have coffee if they want coffee, they want food, they can have food. Those are the two places I would go. I would say Camp North End first because free parking. Just
True.
going. I'm the person that like if I gotta pay for parking, there's a hit or miss of whether I'm gonna show up to an event.
Mm.
I'm like, Optimus Hall used to be my spot, and then they started charging for parking, I think, like, after 30 minutes, like, you have to pay for every 2 and I was like, "What? You're not even there?" Like, I used to be there all the time.
Yeah.
Real great spots there, but if they're, like, 3 days and they're like, "Okay, I want to be, like, somewhere I haven't been, somewhere that's not a chain, somewhere like that," then Camp North End, and a lot of events are always happening over there, so it's a really good spot, and I guarantee you, if you open yourself up to, like, "You know what? If, like, I'm supposed to meet somebody today, then I'll meet them, and we'll see what happens."
Mhm.
There's somebody there, like, always.
That's a great recommendation. I love Camp North End. So one J to try to put this in context for you. Camp North End is kind of like Bayshore, but not as mall-y.
Mhm.
Like you don't pull up if like you're in an outdoor mall,
Okay.
but it's kind of like if Sherman Phoenix was outdoor and larger,
Okay.
mixed with Mayfair Collection, maybe.
Okay.
That's kind of how I would describe it. So Camp North End. So Camp North End is where Mad Miles meets up. If you've seen the social media clips for the Run Club that we've probably talked about at some point. So they meet up at Camp North End. But it's there's different restaurants out there. There's a vinyl record store out there. There's like boutiques and shops. There's a gym or two out there. There's a big old pickleball spot that's super dope out there now. The big boiler yard where there's different events and stuff, which is where Mad Miles meets up at now. But they do like movies on the lawn in the summer. There's giant Lego blocks for the kids to play. You catch, I think every fourth Sunday in the summer, they do like the boiler yard brunch, and it's just a whole turn up out there.
Okay.
There's like a bar, wine shop, there's a pizza spot out there that's pretty dope. It's like this. I think it used to be some type of industrial center. Keep me honest there, but it definitely looks like it. If it wasn't, it looks like it used to be. So it kind of has that industrial feel, all the brick buildings, old warehouses type feel and stuff. But it's a lot of different activations. Like you could be in a restaurant, walk next door, and you in an art shop. Like
Okay.
it's that type of
So
thing. And they built some apartments out there too, so you can even live there now. So like I say, very similar to like Mayfair Collection in that frame of mind, as
mhm.
far as you got shops, you got food, you got that. But I would say this is a little more cultural. Like you're not getting TJ Maxx out here. This is like local stuff, small
Okay.
businesses, locally owned. But it's a vibe. You can just walk around and kind of get into different stuff. So like she said, you want to chill, you can do that out there. You want to get active, you can do that out there. You want pickleball, you can do that. Sit down and read a book, you can do that. So it's pretty dope. So yeah, you come down to Charlotte, we'll have to check that out. I'm a
Okay.
1J. But I like that, Cydney. I like that. I wouldn't have thought to say that. But that's a good one, especially if you catch it on the right day. Because you catch a whole situation out there. So I like that. Okay, Camp North End. That's solid. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thinking because the more I'm thinking about like that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I now know so many people who own businesses there because 'cause I'm like, I show up to things and, like, now everybody knows me, so I get to see, like, more and more stuff because I'm actually connected with them. I'm like, "If I would've known that I should be following this person because this event is going on," 'cause they always have stuff going on, I'm like, "How did I not know this? Why did"
Yeah. Wow. That's a great answer, man. You snapped with that one. That's why we got you on here because you know what you're talking about. So building off that, I mean, what would you say is like the value proposition for Charlotte? Like for all the people that's out there, like I don't know, I just don't get it. I don't get Charlotte. It ain't my vibe. I ain't feeling that. What would you say is like the value proposition of this city? What makes it so special?
I think what makes Charlotte so special is that you truly get to be yourself here. As much as people promote that that's not the case, like,
Mhm.
there's literally something for everybody. As much as you probably think there's not, like, when I say I've talked to people and I've been like, "How are you doing that? Where are you doing that? How did I know this even existed here?" Just, like, different pockets of Charlotte because there's so many different neighborhoods. There's so many people who move here and then they start building what they want to here. Um
hmm
times if you don't see it and it is on your mind, you're the one that's supposed to build it, so there's that.
Mm.
Come on now, come on now.
That's dope. That's dope.
Ooh, dropping them things early, boy. Come on. If it's on your mind and you don't see it, you probably the one that's supposed to build it. So speak. The other thing I see on Threads anytime I get on there is people talking about, yeah, I'm trying to find a church home in Charlotte. All the churches catching heat. Now, so we go to Union, which is quickly become one of the bigger churches in Charlotte, but it's also one of the newer churches here. But one thing our pastor said, I think it was last year one of his sermons, and I'm probably not saying that word for word, but he said, if there's things around here that annoy you, pay attention to that because that's probably what you're anointed for. So I was like, our annoyances are sometimes indicators of our anointing. Like if you like, man, the way they do this parking is just terrible. Like you might need to be on the parking team. I was like, man, the worship that dude, they need some singers up there, man. You might be the one that need to be singing, or it's like it's like, man, this thing is just so unorganized. All right, maybe you need to be part of logistics and how we organize things. So that might be a message in there. If you don't see it and you want it, you might be the one that's supposed to build it. So the things that annoy you, pay attention to that because that might be a sign of something you're anointed to do. So,
Mm.
all right, cool. Shout out to you getting us started good. All right, man. Moan J, take us away here, man, before I keep rambling.
You know what? You all were talking about the spot. I was thinking of is it kind of like post Houston as well? Have you ever been to post Houston? In
Post, yeah, that's a good way to think. And I haven't spent a lot of time in Post, but
okay,
I did go through there to go up to the rooftop for an event.
okay.
Um, but yeah, it's kind of like that, but more outdoor. But it kind of has that look when you pull up, how it kind of looks the outdoor part.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's a it's kind of like that kind of.
Dope, 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 dope. So I want to kind of get into you mentioned something pre-production that I kind of want to bring up on the pod here. You said that you moved around a lot. And I wanna see if there a correlation to and this like I said, this is just my own curiosity. Is there a correlation to, as Devin said earlier, you do a lot, you also move around a lot. Like, is there a connection there because you moved around so much when you were younger and you so many different places and spaces and meeting so many different people? And I'm gonna assume getting into so many different activities and doing so many different things. Does that correlate with you now doing so many different things as you are now? Um, and then kind of just talk about some of the places that you were were in growing up.
Looking really from looking at it now, I would probably say it probably does have a lot to do with it.
Mhm.
I just always thought I was just weird because
Okay.
I like my whole family is just like super chill. Like my mom is a gardener, like my dad does drone work, my brother like games is very like tech minded, and I'd be like, "What are you talking about, sir? I cannot."
Mhm.
But like we all do different things, but like me, I'm the one who's like always looking for that like gap and things, and it's probably because when we moved around so much, I was always having to make new friends. I was always having to, like, adjust, like, okay, like, I'm in a new place, I don't know anything, so I was always, like, more explorer and, like, more like, "Okay, I've gotta" and I'm a lifelong learner anyway, and I was like, "Okay, I gotta learn this, and I'm interested in this." I've always been very curious too, so I think it was just more of, like Yes, it's because we moved around a lot, but I think it's more about, like, who God made me and
Mm,
the fact that like, He made me somebody, chose me for such a time as this because He knew, "Oh, she's gonna just build a lot, and she's really not gonna think about it at first," which is what I need because otherwise she gonna freak herself
mm,
out and overwhelm myself and be like, "How how am I supposed to do this? What is it?" That is my mom, excuse her. Uh, um, but, I think, um it just experiencing so many different people opened up my eyes a lot, experiencing so many different cultures because 'cause I've lived across the country, like, I've lived in Germany. I was 5 when I went to Paris, France. Do I remember anything? No. But I remember holding Barney in, like, front of the Louvre or something, and I was like, "I feel like I need to recreate that picture just, like, for my own
Yeah.
inner child," like, Barney and everything. I don't know if I still have that Barney, I'll have to figure that out, but, like,
Mhm.
just to have that moment, but I think doing a lot has a lot more to do with who I am more than, like, what I have experienced, if that makes
mm,
sense.
Hmm. I think you said something there. If I heard you correctly, it sounded like you said you kind of naturally look for gaps.
Mhm,
Yeah, maybe dig into that a little bit. Like, how has that maybe shaped your? I don't want to say career,
mhm.
but maybe your gifting, the things you do. I mean, like naturally looking for gaps. How is that? I guess transferred into, I guess, the way you show up or the things that you do, the things you've activated, the things you created. How is that transferred into kind of your creativity, your creation?
I think so a lot of the gaps when I first started had to do more with my identity and myself than it had to do with anybody else. So, like,
okay.
when I felt like I didn't have a voice, I leaned on poetry a lot.
Mm,
Wrote
okay.
all over the door. This story I have to tell every time it happens. Like, I wrote all over the white door of my bedroom in red marker. We're not My mom was like, "Cydney," and, like, had a whole because I was, preteen angst, okay?
Yeah.
I, like, wrote all these emotions and stuff. I still have that poem. Every time I read it, I just cringe a bit. The first thing you ever write is not great, but I still kept it. Like, I kept all
Yeah.
that stuff. Um, but when I started photography, it was a lot more to do with, like, how I saw myself, and so I did a lot of self-portraiture when I first started, and then I was photographing my mom's garden because she loved doing it, but she didn't really, like, share it with anybody, and so I was just
Mhm.
photographing it because I wanted to see it through my eyes, even though I really wasn't helping her with the garden when I was a kid, it's okay. Now I'm obsessed with it. Um, but it had to do more with that, and then as I got older, you said the things that annoy you or usually have to do with your anointing, right? The things that annoy me tend to have to do with leadership
Mm,
and
Mm.
management versus leaders, and I was in a lot of
Mhm.
corporate spaces where I was dealing with management and not seeing a lot of leaders, and I think when I experienced my first person that really felt like a leader, and it was funny because it was actually somebody who I became friends with, they opened my eyes to, like, no, you can really lead with empathy and with care and, like, still hold people accountable and still get your job done and still do all the things you need to do and still really outperform a lot of people who, if they had this position, wouldn't be doing half of these things, um, and still have your life.
mm,
Yeah, yeah.
Stressed out, and they did eventually. They left before I did, but seeing them, I was like, "I can do this in corporate." Now, I had already been doing creative things on the side because of how my brain's wired, I'm like, "I need something outside of this because I get bored real easy." Something outside of this that is creative and has nothing to do with this job, has nothing to do with this, that
Yep.
feels like work. And so I was always like photography. I had started doing like brand ambassador, which had became influencing that became content creation. It's a whole thing. Like I've been doing this a long time. And so I was like, so I was the walking billboard for my friend's brands. That's still me. It just looks a lot different now.
mm,
Um,
Yeah.
and so it just it was me looking at what does now that I'm not looking at it from my point of view of what is my gap, which I still do, but, like, it's just different now because of I feel grounded in who I am now. I'm
yeah.
looking at, like, okay, if I feel this way, then somebody else probably did, and that's how I started my first, like, blog, like, that actually became, like, a whole thing where I had, like, interns and, like, we were
Mm,
getting, like, celebrities retweeting things when Twitter was Twitter and all this stuff, and I was
Mhm.
like, what is how did I get there?" And that was the first thing that I ever prayed for on my own, got an answer, and, like, literally started the same like, within the same, like, few hours. Like, it was a
Mm.
prayer, cried, I, like, could not figure it out, I felt so lost, and then was answered, and I was moving by, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, which is my birth time, which is why I thought it was funny. Anytime I'm up at 2, I'm like, "Oh god, you got jokes and you want my attention, got it." And so did that. That was a hard thing to let go of, but I realized if I had not let go of it, I wouldn't be doing half of what I'm doing now,
Mm,
probably even a fraction of what I'm doing now. Um, because I was looking to fill the gap of the fact that, like, people weren't talking about mental health, like, 10 years ago the way they're talking about it now, and so I was
yeah.
like, "I'm tired of this." Like, I went through depression in college and didn't know how to explain it because I was a top, like, straight A student, always the good kid, and then, like, failed my first class in college. Do you know what that does to your psyche?
Mhm.
And it was science. I am, like, science and math, I was tripping. I was like, "I hate this." I was like, me and chemistry already had beef in high school because I got a B in that class. Telling me I failed it? Pause. How? Yeah, no. So I was like, I feel like I have to talk about this, and, like, when your identity is attached to school and, like, being, like, the good kid and doing all of this, when that falls apart, like, not having the guidance or, like, even knowing how to talk about that because that's not something my family was talking about was mental health at the time. Like, having to figure that out on my own, and because I was used to talking to strangers and all this stuff, I'm not advocating that for kids to do that. But, like, because I was used to that, I was like, "Okay, maybe I just need to, like, talk about it online." So I did it anonymously for, like, a year and some change, and then it became, like, this whole thing where, like, my friends started finding out, and my family started finding out because I posted on Facebook that I had it, and they were like, "What is going on?" And I realized, like, "Oh, I'm filling a gap for other people," and so that became something that started driving me, and so now I just do that on different scales than I'm used to, but it's not a bad thing, it's just different.
Mm.
Wow. That's a lot in there. She
Yeah.
talked about those God hours, Monjay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we that brought up like I said that what 2 to 4 o'clock ish time frame. Yeah, a
Mhm.
lot of that's where a lot of the creativity happens, and that's just the world is pretty much silent, especially on this side of the world. It's pretty much silent, and folks aren't moving around as much, and you can really think, and you can really do what you need to do to be successful. So yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, back up again. Look at that. Good God.
Shando. Man, so I mean, powerful in there. And I just want to make sure I got this right. So you said you had a moment where you prayed, got an answer, and like started activating the work all within like a few hours.
Yes.
Now I want to make sure I'm clear on what we're talking about here now. Now, what was that prayer again?
It was a prayer for purpose.
For
Mm,
purpose. Okay. Okay. And you got that clarity. And this was around filling those gaps. And you started talking about the depression and mental health and realize it's bigger than you. You helping others with that too. And it kind of spread like wildfire. So, all right. All right. I just want to make sure I had that right because that was powerful. And I got so caught on that line. I was like, wait a minute. What was the prayer again? It was, I want to make sure I got that in there. So, I mean, you do a lot. And I'm thinking back to our last conversation. No, we're gonna talk about the school, and you got photography in here. There's a magazine somewhere in here, and modeling and fashion and all this other stuff. So, um, man, maybe let's start with maybe Creative Conservatory. So let's talk about that. I know that's the big thing right now. I've been seeing you post about it. I shared it a little bit as well because once you talked, I said I know some people need to do this. So I shared it, and one of my friends who actually lives in Orlando, but she said, "Oh man, I need to do this." I said, "Hey man, you should tap in. I know I just met her. I think it's worth giving it a shot." She's kind of starting to get into creating her own content and all this good stuff. So people seeing you. You're not just doing it for no reason. People are seeing it. So I did want to share that with you. But talk about the Creative Conservatory. What's that all about?
So the Creative Conservatory is the new school on the block. So that is my like I want to build a school for creatives because a lot of times we feel isolated, frustrated, unsupported, unseen, like unheard. And so I was like, I have literally had the idea for building a school for over a decade. And like, just like, it never came up. It never seemed like the right time. I'd never got a vision for it. And I was like, maybe one day, but like, it just is not clicking. And then during my hiatus,
mm,
you need to go on a social media hiatus. I don't want you on any of these apps. Like I want like your focus basically and put me in
yeah.
concentration. And I realized, oh, got a whole download of what I was supposed to do, and I thought I was gonna start it later in the year, and God was like, "About that. You're gonna start it in March." "Excuse me, I'm gonna start it in March." March is not that far away because I did this at the top of the new year, so, like, I
Mhm.
brought the new year, not on the apps, which is the exact opposite I feel like is what people do. They all over the apps because they wanna see where I was not.
Yeah.
Texting people happy new year because that's the way I, could do it. Um, so Creative Conservatory really is like a space for not just creatives to learn new skill sets. A lot of people in this first semester are their big focus is marketing because 'cause they're like, "How do I do this?
Yep,
How
yep.
do I talk about myself? What do you mean?" And I'm like,
Mhm.
as a homebody, as somebody who's like had to do this, like, the hard way for, like for everything that I built, I was like, "I got you." And who sat in, like, CMO positions and stuff like that. I was like, "I got it." So, like, actually helping them create their first content calendars, helping break down what marketing actually, like, looks like. But I'm changing the semester focus, which is something new that I decided to do. So I knew that I was gonna do summer enrichment program, thought it would look different, got the download that it should be a content, like, creation accelerator basically.
Mm.
30 days locked in, like, we gonna create content and, like, get it out. It's not gonna be and I know people the first thing and I'm inviting people 2 weeks in early just so they can get acclimated to the platform because it's on the whole app and everything. So the community is built in and the students from last semester will be in it too. If they wanna join, they can, but told them, like, "You don't have to, but you can always catch the replays, you can do any of that." Trying to do in-person activations, and the point is to, like, basically build your community and build your support system at the same time that you're actually putting in that work. Like, you're believing in yourself. They may not have the same faith I do, but, like, the important part is, like, I want that passion and that purpose and for you actually to put in that work, because that's the part that everybody wants to like, "If I'm passionate enough, if I pray for it," you still gotta put in the work, though.
Come on now. Come on now.
Somebody who has done that.
Yeah.
I promise you, you still gotta put in the work when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you like, I ain't gotta see it. Some posts that I be doing are like, I'm like up and I'm like, it is literally 10 minutes till midnight. I gotta figure something going out today. And like I'm just gonna put it together and it'll come out. Now I've been doing this a long time, so I have an advantage because I can really crank something out real fast. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm thinking I did that in 5 minutes and I was so
Yep.
exhausted. But, like, having people actually realize there are people who want to help me, there are people who are not just here to, like, take from me, they genuinely wanna see me win, and so I got the name literally a few days ago of Charlotte's creative cheerleader, and I was like, "It's going in my bio." Thankfully.
Hmm.
I was like, "It is going in my bio," and that's really who I am for the Creative Conservatory. I went from changing my title from president of my company to the dean of the Creative Conservatory because right now I'm not focused on the other part of my business, which is talent, like advocacy and management for Chimpany House. So I was like, let me actually focus on my students for the first like year. So I
Nice.
have the content creation accelerator, which will be 30 days in like late summer. And I know people are gonna be like, we're outside and all this stuff. You can still use that content. I will
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
And then fall will be fashion focused because it just feels like that's one of the things that gets left out when a lot of these programs
Mm.
take off, and so I'm like, I wanna actually do that because I actually know fashion designers and models and all that stuff who don't get that support, the same support that, like, content creators and podcast hosts and all different types of creatives get. I feel like it just looks different because fashion industry has been painted to be so competitive, so I wanna
Yeah.
I wanna change that. I see a gap, I'm like, I can help that. I'm not the person to lead every class on fashion, but like I will gladly be like somebody and somebody actually reached out to me like, "I wanna support." So, I actually texted her today about it, so that should be interesting.
Wow. That's super dope. So 30-day content creation accelerator. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Now, is there like a certain niche creator you're looking for? Is there an ideal candidate?
Not a, like, niche. I am not that person that's gonna be like, "You need to be this specific niche, you gotta pick this up," because I am the person who is like, "I am the niche." Like,
Mm.
I
Mm,
do
come
not
on now.
do not I can't pick one. I said, "Y'all if y'all understood how my brain works, you'd be like, oh, no, that makes perfect sense. I am the niche." So I am really big on, like, mostly passionate creatives will probably get the most out of it because they'll realize, "Oh, I am the niche, and I don't have to just pick one thing forever, and that's all I get to do." Um, it'll probably break a lot of people free who have picked a niche but feel stifled or stagnant.
Yeah.
I'd say the ideal person is probably somebody who just feels like they're not consistent in their
Mhm.
creation, or there's something that they are lacking as far as, like, maybe it is, like, the marketing portion when it comes to, like, actually deepening that connection with their community. Because a lot of people are thinking it's just, like, gaining followers and you're just trying to get all these numbers, and I'm like, "That's cool, but, like, if you're looking for brand deals, you know what they're actually looking at? You could have, like, less than 1,000, less than 5,000 followers. They're looking at engagement. If your
Yeah.
audience is not engaging, I was like, the case study about the girl who, like, was trying to sell, she had 100,000 followers, tried to sell 1 T-shirt and nobody bought.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Not a single person bought. That should tell you something. She wasn't building a relationship with them. They were just watching her life basically, or whatever the highlight reel of what she was posting online. I said, "You don't
Yeah.
want that. You want people who are genuinely invested."
Yeah.
So, like, every single person who follows you will buy, but it does mean, like, okay, if it's not working, like, what am I not doing? What am I looking at? And it doesn't mean you're failing. It just means, like, I just need to adjust a little bit and pivot. So,
What made you decide to use school for the Creative Conservatory as opposed to any other platform? Why school?
school, so I have experience with school. I used it when I was working for an entrepreneur in I did a mastermind program. I was the mastermind program director for 14 months, and we had, like, 20 something students. We didn't use school, we used Facebook. I have, like, slight beef with, like, Facebook groups. Me and Facebook groups aren't friends. I like, the interface of them, I'm just like, "Something is missing," you know me, trying to find that gap, and
Mhm.
so I got into school because the other part of their business, um, was, like, it's focused on women in fitness,
Okay.
um, so they actually had a 90-day accelerator. This is part of, like, what inspired me to, like, have my own accelerator, just make it shorter. They actually had 2 groups at the same time. I was helping manage both of them, it was a lot, but it was on school, and I was like, "What is this?" And so I started learning the platform on the job because I tell people all the time, I was like, "I know you have full-time jobs. I know it's not always fun." I said, "But I guarantee you, if you look at it as, like, this is something I can learn from while getting paid versus, like, oh, I gotta go here and I gotta do this." Like, if you look at it differently and, like, change that frame of mind, it doesn't mean you're gonna love it always. Because trust me, there are days with my job, I'm like, "Why am I doing"
Right.
like, but, like, when I look at it that way, I'm like, "Okay, like, I'm learning this on the job, I'm getting paid for this, I'm getting to help people because 'cause I'm still getting to help people." I was helping all these women, like, and they were actually focused on content creation, like, having to do that part because a bunch of them were ambassadors for the brand. And so I love that it is basically a hybrid of I would say it's a hybrid of, like, an actual, like, education platform, like, what was the one I always use? Not Udemy or Coursera, there's another one Teachable, which I
Mm.
started, like, try to use, like, years ago, and then for my interns when they were learning, like, about what the brand was that I had at the time and all of that, but also, like, Facebook groups and, like, that community and what that feels like. Because there's, like, you can use GIF, there's, like, leaderboards and stuff, so we used to, like, shout people out every time, there was, like it's like a whole thing, and I don't even think I've tapped into everything that I can do inside of school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I picked it. It met, like, the needs of both of those worlds, and I felt like it wasn't a huge leap for somebody to learn it, whether they've been in a Facebook group or whether they've been on the teachable side, like, it would be a nice adjustment, and even if they haven't been on either, like, I could help get them acclimated because there's a million and one tutorials, plus I will always make more. I do not like, "You have a question about how to do that? I got you."
Have you used School more, Jay?
No, I've just been seeing a lot of the ads for it. They're like, "Oh, if you're a preacher, you should be on school, or a pastor, you should be on school, or if you're a educator, you should be on school." And I did look at the platform. Now, is there a fee for school? Is it like a monthly fee or something like that?
Yes, so right now I have the hobby plan, and that's like $9 a month, which is not bad. The
Okay.
one that the company used was like the pro one, so that's like $99 a month. I was like, "I ain't got that."
Right.
Like, one day I'll get to that point. I don't need that right now. I looked at, like, did the thing where you compare to see, like, what you actually need and then make a decision from there. So $9 a month works perfectly fine for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I used School recently. That's how I got introduced to it. We participated in an intimacy challenge actually for married couples, and the couple who led it used School to put out the challenges each day and the like daily content and try to drive engagement throughout the week in between the challenges. So it's pretty dope. It's a pretty dope platform. I never heard of it before. And then when I met you, you mentioned it. I was like, okay, all right, what we got going on here? Yeah, School all of a sudden. All right, School is in.
Mhm. School is in. School is in session.
No, that's dope. So I love what you said because like I'm seeing this in real time. My wife, so we may or may not have talked about this, but like my wife is now she's like officially a fitness influencer. She still won't quite say it, but she is. And our last episode, shout out to D'Angelo. He was on. I'm familiar with D'Angelo D Berry, really big in the fitness community on TikTok and really across all social media, but definitely on TikTok. But he was on our last episode, and we got talked a lot about can y'all still? Oh, talked a lot about the difference between a content creator and an influencer. Because we have a lot of creators, but not everyone is an influencer. And when you were mentioning that one person who had 100,000 followers but couldn't sell a shirt, so yeah, because you probably making good content, but not really influencing people, not influencing people to buy or buy into what it is that you're doing. So yeah, so she's on that journey right now, and is literally learning as she goes while getting paid along the way. It's not that she's not bringing in like millions and everything, but no, she helped out with a few things here lately. So I mean, like it's starting to pay dividends. So literally learning as she goes while getting paid along the way. So I wanted to ask you about that kind of getting paid side of things. What does that look like for your students or people who you've had experience with, or even your own experiences? Just what does that look like? That kind of getting paid along the way.
It depends. I will say, I think a lot of people are probably thinking that influencers and content creators, anybody that's doing anything online and promoting themselves are getting paid like immediately. Like you just make the post and then it immediately happens. No.
Hmm.
And debunk that because as much as all of us wish that were very true, it is like more of like the contract is usually net 30, net 60, or net 90. I pray that most people are not doing that last one, but basically it means like after you submit the thing and it's like cleared and everything, 30 days later they make a payment. So don't be quitting your job.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Read the contracts, the thing that I'm really big on. Like, actually read the agreements. A lot of people get into stuff and don't read the agreements they have with brands. Now, because of who I am, when I first started doing brand ambassador, I have a real hard time accepting money. Don't ask me what that is. I don't know. Like, I just for a very long time, I just was like, this is weird. And I don't wanna do it for the money, and so, with content creation, the brand ambassadorship, I worked with, like, Shea Moisture and, like, clothing brands, like, that were, like, across the country, like Daisy LA, and I've worked with different brands, but it was always on a gifting thing. I even worked with New York
Yeah,
Company, and they gave us, like, $100 stipend every month. So, basically, I got free clothes every month, and that was fine.
yeah.
Like, fill my wardrobe, that's perfectly fine. I still have some of those clothes. Um but I was in it for the gifting, which, like, if you don't wanna pay for a lot of the stuff, I will say that you, like, use all the time, getting into content creation for that, I'm not gonna knock anybody because that's what I did. I was literally like, "Wait, I could get this stuff for free?" I was like,
Hey.
"Wow, I can save money and get it and promote it
Mm,
and talk about it the way that I already do anyway, just post it online." I got it, but yeah, like, the paid side, I will say a lot of people have a hard time with like, people actually paying the invoices or, like, not finding some reason to not pay because people like to do that too. Whether an
mhm.
entrepreneur, like, on that, like, when it comes to, because I think that's the other thing, a lot of people split up entrepreneurship and content creators and influencers. I'm like, "No, they're still entrepreneurs, there's just a
Yep,
title is different." Like,
right.
it just looks a little bit different than a traditional entrepreneur is what I'd probably say.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, those people like to play in content creators and influencers' faces too much. I'm part of Black Media Guild, and some of the stories I be hearing, I'm like, sometimes I'm really glad I'm not got big accounts like y'all because I could not. What do you mean? It's just all kinds of stories from them about like some of the stuff they like deal with the brands or like certain things like falling through. Um, 'Cause it happens, so I think for most people, I would say, like, the payment side of things, if you're getting it into content creation and influencing just for the money, like, you're getting into it for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
you can make a life out of it, but the other thing you have to consider is, like, the privacy factor. Like, what are
Mm,
you sacrificing? Which with anything, like, what are you sacrificing to make this dream happen? And that's a lot of people don't even pay attention to that part. They're just like, "This looks like something fun to do. Let me jump into it," which I'm not saying I haven't done, but, like, realize, like, what it takes. It doesn't mean it's not worth it. It just means, like, you have to, like, consider that a lot more as your lifestyle also changes, so
Yeah, I think getting into most things for the money is typically a mistake. I'm
yeah,
not saying that it shouldn't be a factor, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be an important factor. But if that's like the only motivation, I feel like that's typically not the right move. Typically, I'm not going to. There's exceptions to every rule, but I think typically, there should be some deeper purpose or alignment that you're trying to get into versus money. Because I mean, money comes and goes, it's fleeting. Economy changes. This budgets change, things change. So um, that earlier you were talking, and I had the thought because no, we churchy over here. But you said something. What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? You said, doggone it, what was it? You said, was it something about people, platforms, people, apps? I forgot what it was, but whatever you said, it made me think, build your hope on things eternal.
mm,
But because it's like, if you in it for the money, that can change in an instant, and
yeah,
now you stuck. That's what. Yeah, you said your identity was attached to being like a good student. You're like,
mhm.
and I can relate to that because I was the all A student, no, through undergrad actually. So I was salutatorian in high school, valedictorian in college. I think I eventually made a B in some grad level courses at some point, but whatever. I got it. But yeah, but like I can relate to that. So have your identity tied to these things. Like as you get older, you get some wisdom and experiences that makes you realize, this stuff really ain't that deep. So you got to be attached to something a little deeper. So I think just solely being in most things for the money is a mistake. So something to think about if you're out there on that. Now, what are your thoughts on platforms like Bendable and some of these other tools that are out here, like just different creative ways to make money, really through, let's call it micro influencing or just sharing your recommendations, things like that. What are your thoughts on those types of platforms? Do you see them as viable, good things to get into?
I believe I have a Binnable account. Now do I use it? Obviously, if I can't, probably not. Because I was trying to test it out because 'cause I'm one of those people that, like, well, I wanna know it, so, like, if somebody asks me a question about
mhm.
it,
Me too.
at least
Yeah.
I did, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I was like Binnable, I don't think I use. I got some reason during my hiatus, like, right before I applied to be, like to know a creator, I think they had an application for it, and
Mm.
during my hiatus, when I checked my email, I got in, and I was like, "Excuse me." Not even posting the same type of content like I used to. What do you mean I got in? And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Let me see what this is about." And I actually checked it today and was like, "Oh, I haven't met this goal. I need to look at this again." I think it is if you're consistent, like I talked about earlier, if you're consistent, if you actually, like, make a strategy for it, I think that's a lot of the part. People just be, like, doing whatever, and I'm like, be intentional about it. I think that's another part people miss. I'm like, be intentional. Like, yes, I talked about earlier about how, like, sometimes I just need to get a post up. Something gotta go up. There are days like that, but don't make that your whole strategy. Like, actually
Right,
let me look at what do I want to be known for? What do I want to promote? Are there certain things that I'm not willing to talk about? Like, you know, let me look at that first before hopping into this. So I think you can make money, but doing it like we were talking about, like, I don't think it's the only like, micro influencing is really important if the app aligns with, like, a lot of the brands that I use aren't actually on Like to Know It, and I didn't know that before I got in there, but I was looking at
yeah,
how to tag different brands that I absolutely love, and I was like, "What do you mean they're not on Like to Know It? This
Mm.
this particular brand that I know everybody loves is not on here," and I was like, "Mm," and so I stopped posting for, like, a while. That's why when I looked at my goals, I was like, "I've done none of those because I've not been on this app in like a month." Like, I think it can work. I don't personally have experience with it, but I follow a lot of people who do and who are, like, making some kind of commission from it. It's just not gonna usually, I don't think it replaces, like, your, like,
right.
income because it's still
Yeah,
influencing people actually have to purchase
Yep.
versus having a brand deal, you have that contract, and that's usually a bigger sum of money and
Mm.
over a long period of time, depending on if it's a partnership or just like a deal where it's like a one-time thing, which like sometimes those one-time things can turn into a partnership. I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we definitely been seeing the evolution of that even with my wife. So Benable came to mind. So shout out to Marina who was on a couple episodes ago, and like she's been doing relatively well with Benable. She's pretty consistent with it, and she gets on me because I was like I just kind of did it just to do it, just to kind of see what happened.
Mm.
And like I get an email every night. I think I got one yesterday. Like I had another dollar or two come in. Somebody bought a book from my book list, and I'm not a big reader. So if you listen to this, I'm not scamming you. But I'm just not a big reader, so I put like one or two books that I have actually read, in the last 10, 15 years. Put it out there and like people buying it. So shout out to y'all. Keep go buy that book or go to my Bengal list and buy a book so I can get a little money off you. But yeah, to your point, consistency is really the name of the game in all of this stuff. I think whether you trying to do the bendable type stuff or micro influencing, you all out building the whole brand, centered around content creation and influencing, consistency I think is the name of the game. I hear all these different rules about, post it this time on social media, use these hashtags, tag this stuff, put this word that way, put this on your screen, and like it's all this stuff. But the one common thread I believe is consistency. And I will say that like my wife was talking about that she posting pretty much every day, and she asked me, "All right, I posted just I need to do that tomorrow." I'm like, okay, whatever, like cool. But she's consistent about it, and it's paying dividends. And when it's purposeful, it's also impactful. And I think that's the really cool part when impact meets purpose meets provision. That I think that's when you got that sweet spot, man. Yeah, that's that sweet spot. So I'm excited for all of the creators that are coming through this 30-day content creation accelerator through the Creative Conservatory with Charlotte's creative cheerleader. I'm excited
Yeah.
just to hear the stories that come out of that because that's a powerful intersection. And I don't know, maybe that was downloaded in this talk. Impact, purpose, provision. That's the sweet spot right there. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that's for, but do with that what you will. But yeah, man, I'm excited to hear the stories that come out of that. That's gonna be good, man, and that's something that's needed. And I know you said that you're not limited to Charlotte creators because it's virtual right now. So anyone listening, you don't have to be in Charlotte to take part in this opportunity. So whether you in Milwaukee, you in Cali, you in Spain, tap in with Cydney and get in on this because I think it's a great opportunity. And she said like you don't have to be the master influencer right now with the 100,000 followers and all this good stuff. Like if you're getting started out, I think this is a great avenue to help you just build that little confidence. My thing since the first Share the Vibes Fest in 2022 has been there's something catalytic in getting started. If you just get started, it's just something that's catalytic about that. It kind of gets to your oomph. So yeah, do that. You start seeing some real results, and then next thing you know you got 100 posts up, and 2 of them that went viral, and now you did something. So yeah, shout out to you for doing that. I'm excited to hear the stories that come out of that. That's going to be super dope, and I think very powerful and impactful, especially in this economy and the way things work today.
What have you had to just tell a creator and just say, there's somebody that's listening and you had a suggestion, and I know this is probably a hard question, could be possibly a hard question to answer. I don't want to totally assume, but if you had a creator that's out that want to get started and really focus, and they really can't spend time on all the apps, they can't be on LinkedIn, they can't be on Instagram, they can't be on TikTok, and all of them at the same time. What platform would you recommend for them to get started with? And then, what other advice would you give content?
So the first thing I would say is I'm less about like there's this one platform that like everybody should be on. I'm more of like what platform are you already on all
Mhm.
the time?
Yeah.
What are you already
Mhm.
like scrolling on, always on? That you need to utilize that to your advantage because you're naturally already there, which means your
Mm.
people are also probably naturally already there. A
Mm.
lot of people I tell like Instagram is probably the best of both worlds because now we have Instagram and Threads is attached and Facebook is attached. Like everything is attached.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a little more like you have more wiggle room to move with that.
Mhm.
So I would say if I had to pick just one, I would pick the Meta because it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
Meta, even though me and Meta have beef sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm
Mm.
like,
Meta.
I'm already on there all the time anyway, so Instagram Threads, like I'm not on Facebook like that, but, like, I built stuff on Facebook, like, my mom gardening page got, like, thousands of followers because as somebody who she does not get online like that, y'all. Like, I'm posting for her, all those posts of me. But she built her page with, like, thousands of followers with all this gardening knowledge on Facebook. And then we moved to Instagram, and now she also has a YouTube now too. So YouTube is my personally the one that I spend the most time on outside of Instagram. Like, I love watching long form content. I know we have shorts, and
Okay.
like, I'm much more of a, like, a I wanna consume things. I've watched so many short films this year, like, just because somebody posted it, and so now I'm immersed in a 16-minute, like, short film, and I'm like, "What is this, and who is this creator?" So now I'm following them everywhere
Yeah.
because they took the effort to post them. I think that's the one thing I would say, like, if I could give any advice to anybody, just do it. Like, I know it's Nike's thing, but, like, I'm just saying, just do it,
Yeah.
do the thing. Like, you may start out with, like, nobody liking it, seeing anything, but you genuinely won't know, like, what could happen unless you put yourself out there. Like, I have started so many accounts of my own, my friends, my family, like, people I don't know like that, but, like, we connected, and now I'm helping them build stuff out with, like, less than 1,000 followers, less than I scrapped my whole account before and had, like, 60 followers and built that to over 1,000 followers. Like, it's, like, one of my old accounts too. So, like, just post, just do the thing. You really genuinely never know what could happen, and a lot of times it's really beautiful if you are consistent with it and stick with it.
Yeah. You're one of the first people I've heard in a long time speak about like having a love for long form content just because our attention spans are so much shorter now. Like you said, we're in the age of reels and shorts, clips, all this stuff. That's just the age we're in, and attention spans are far shorter now. Even me, like I'm like, you got about a good 3 to 5 seconds to catch me. I'm on to the next thing, and it's no shameful, but it is what it is. But no, so you still enjoy long form content, and there is value in that. I think last year Share the Vibes Fest, I think DJ Bazan talked about that. I'm on 1J in the live podcast that y'all did about how it's good to build these your audience and then these platforms across all these different apps, but from a monetization standpoint, the real winner is getting that going on YouTube because
Yeah.
it's kind of is there and it can keep growing. So I mean, do I know you're watching a lot of long form content, but are you creating a lot of long form content, or and if not, is that something you know are looking to do in the near future?
So last year, I started my own series called It's His Life because at the time that was my Instagram name, and so
Okay.
basically posting like I did. The first episode was like me being like really chatty, and so it was like probably like an hour because I can yap. Uh, I was just talking about life and where it was at, and then the second one, which is why I told people like sometimes like you don't know what could happen, and one time thing can basically become a partnership. So
Mhm.
I actually was an attendee at an event called Renaissance Brunch, Ultimate Beyonce Fan Experience, 10 out of
Hmm.
10 did. And so they actually contacted me wanting me to be a content creator for their next one, which was in Durham that same year. That was 2023. And then it became a whole thing when she released Act 2, like, "Hey," the, CEO and founder, Mir, up in Durham was like, I wanna do, like, Renaissance Brunch, but, like, now I wanna do something that is specifically for Cowboy Carter and the album and stuff and include that, and it's not just Cowboy Carter. When I say we be going through the entire discography because we have Beyoncé bingo, so all types of things. And there's prizes, there's food, there's just a lot going on, and it's only for a few hours. But she was like, we were up on a Saturday at the same time, that 4 a.m. We were
Yep.
both up at like 4 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning, and she DM'd me, and I was like, "Why are you up?" And so then we're trying to come up with a name for the event, and so we landed on Hive Hoedown, and so we've done 2 or 3. I haven't made them out to all of them. They ended up going to Atlanta, like, at first it was just in the Carolinas, like, specifically North Carolina, then they ended up going all the way to Atlanta,
Mm.
like and now Atlanta show was when I say crazy, like, I looked at the footage, crazy. One of the
Mm.
dance who only performed that was his first time performing ever. He hadn't been dancing that long, and, like, now, like, he's known for his dancing, and I was just like, you just never know. And
Yeah.
so I actually my second episode was me recapping the last Hive Hoedown I went to last year, and it was so much fun to, like, edit and, like, cut things together, and I had, like, a whole feel for it. I was on CapCut. Like, the way my brain works is fascinating to me a lot of time because 'cause I'm like, "Where did it come from?" I mean, like, I know, thank you God, but, like, what how did we but trying to create another episode, my 3rd episode has not happened yet because my brain is literally so fried from work, from everything else I'm doing. I'm like, "I ain't got it yet." The
Mm,
visual will come when it's there, but, like, it has not happened yet because there's all these other moving parts that I think I have to finish first, and then God will
Mhm.
vision, and that's fine. But so I do want to create more long form content. I just haven't yet for my own page. Now I'm working on it for Pariah magazine, and I also am working on it for like my mom's page, Garden Rules. So I'm working on it for other people. It's just for me, it has not happened yet because I'm being pulled in like a million different directions, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Mwanja, have you done much with long form content yet? I know you all over it with the short form. You do some of everything, in the video world. But have you done long form much yet?
um,
Outside of podcasts? No.
outside of podcasts, I don't not really. No, not really. I mean, I haven't made anything longer. Probably no nothing longer than 10 minutes, I'll be honest with you. After
Mhm.
10 minutes, it's kinda like, eh. I mean, I've done, of course, like the lives. It's like my 2 lives that I did Sunday were hour and a half. And
Yeah.
kinda 2nd live, I was kinda being a DJ loosely. I use the term loosely because, of course, I respect to DJs such as yourself, Devin. But, I was just on live, just playing music, taking requests and things of that nature, and just kinda using my Apple, Apple, Music playlist and going from there.
Mhm.
But as far as, like, just creating a video that long, I really not really. Like, outside of like you said, outside of podcasts, no.
Yeah.
No, this is I think the longest was, like, almost 2 hours with us. It was one episode, it was, like, almost 2 hours. I said, "Ooh." I said, "This I know."
Yeah.
'Cause the it's just the gigs be so big, and I'm just like, "Oh, it's gonna take forever. It's gonna take all." Like, this is like 25, almost 60 gigs, and it's like, "What?" So, like, if I were to vlog, it might be that long too, but as far as, like, actual sitting down, script, coming up with storyboards and concepts and things like that, no longer than 10 minutes. Because, like you said, the attention span of folks nowadays are just so
Yeah.
short. It's like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna sit down. Like, if you watch the analytics, I see a lot of videos, they just, what's the analytic tool name, not tool, but the, stat thing. It's like when the watch time where it drops down
Oh,
after a
yeah.
certain period, and I'm like, "Oh, man, like, you only watched 3 seconds of it." Like, this is great. Like, you gotta watch the rest to see what happened. What's the plot twist? And all that stuff like that, and it's like, "Nah, it's not."
Yeah.
No. So I try to stay under 10 minutes if possible. I do have content that, I did some rain videos with the black screen. That's 30 minutes on my, Instagram excuse me, on my YouTube page. They did okay, but I think I'm gonna bring it to an hour, or now those could be longer because these are people sleeping. These are people,
Right.
you know,
Right.
maybe doing some, homework or studying and things like that, just need something in the background. I'll create
Yep.
them videos that might be like, 2, 3 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours max. Those get a lot of traction and views, and then that gets your watch time up on, Instagram.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, I keep saying Instagram. YouTube, that way
YouTube. Yeah.
you can start monetizing. But yeah, no, to answer your question in a short way, no.
Gotcha. I'm telling you now, if I don't know I don't know if I have the tools and all the know how to do it just yet, but if ever it falls my lot to get into this long term game or long form game outside of podcasting,
Mm,
I'm telling you, sensory videos for babies, I'm coming for you.
mm.
Man, when Emery was a baby, she was home. So I found a Hey Bear sensory video, and it's literally just black screen, different color shapes bouncing across the screen with music
Oh,
playing in
okay.
the background. I'm talking about millions of views, 16 million views on this one, 12 million on this one. I'm like, bro, somebody is making bank off this right now, and it's
Yeah.
just and it was decent music. Like I had a couple videos that were my favorite. Cause I'd be working, but I hear like the jazz playing there. So I was like, "Hey, we got a little vibe going in here," and that
Mhm.
had me feeling kind of cute, in the apartment while I was, getting my work on, and Ember taking her a nap. Like it's doing everything I needed to do. But I'm telling you, man, like so many millions of views, and not a single word is being said. No script, no actors, just some shapes, different colors, bouncing across the screen with music playing in the background. I'm like, this that sounds like a lick.
Mm,
That sounds like a lick. I just give me like 3 of them.
yeah.
Cool,
That's why I did the black
cool.
that's why I did the black screen video. I saw, I
Mhm.
just randomly saw a video, it was a rain video, and it was a black screen. And, like, literally, this person found a way to, like, turn my TV off, but still on. And so, like, it's, like, literally black screen, and so I was trying to figure it out. When I did it the first time, my screen kept flashing for some reason, and then I finally
Mm.
figured it out. And, now my videos have that black screen on it where it doesn't your TV's off, but your TV's on, but it's like it's off, and you just got airplane
Yeah.
noise, white noise, rain noise, ocean
Mhm.
noise, and things like that. And like I said, it's only for 30 minutes, but I'm gonna boost it up to about an hour and some change, or at least 8 hours so people can get some sleep.
Yeah. No, it's genius. It's genius because like Draco, she at the point now she got to have a fan on when we sleep. And
Mm,
now that I think about it, we didn't do it this last time we were just in Fitzgerald, probably just because we were tired. But the time before that, I literally had to find a white noise video on my phone and had it in the bed with us while we slept because you just had to hear something. So now that's genius, bro. Man, that's right up your alley. I mean, you do
right.
that. You do
Mogul,
that for
yeah.
sure, man.
Yeah, Mogul is still audio, still audio. I wanted to bring something
Yep.
up real quick before, if you had another question. There's this tool that's out not tool, this app that's out there or this service that's out there called, Social Agent. I don't know if you all heard of it, but it's
Mm-mm.
essentially Uber for content creators. Let's say
Hmm.
a brand or a business, they don't wanna hire, a marketing person. They will go on the app, find someone that's local, have them come in, do like a video for like $30, then that person has like a certain time frame to, turn the video around and then they get paid. And, I think right now it's only being used or tested in New York, of course, big markets. So New York, LA, I don't
Mm.
think Chicago has it yet, but those I know those 2 markets for sure has it. But yeah, it's like I
Mm.
saw it, I was like, "This is crazy." Like this, as crazy as in like this is like taking the Uber model and turning it into content creation. And like it was following this woman named Sarah, and she went into this place. It was like I think it was like an assisted living place, and they just needed a video, and she had her phone, her camera, and then, like, they'll, like, have you choose whatever you wanna use. If you wanna use a camera, if you wanna use your iPhone or anything like that, but someone will come in and just, do what they need to do, and then they have, like, a certain time frame to do it. It's called I believe it's called the Social Agent, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
super duper interesting. Like I said, I can only imagine now companies, doing that and not really necessarily hiring marketing people, which is kinda scary in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it's kinda trending in that direction already just
Yeah,
with the,
yeah.
influencer and creator economy. It's a lot of stuff. It's like I'm seeing all this stuff firsthand just 'cause of my wife. I ain't trying to tell all her business, but I'm seeing this stuff firsthand. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, yeah. It's like I could take the budget to go hire an agency and do all this stuff for me, but, I mean, the way it works now, you are far more likely to make a purchase if somebody
Yeah,
is putting it on their channel
yep,
versus us getting this nice, well-produced video with cameras and all this stuff that's gonna cost us a few thousand to make and try to get a commercial on TV and all this good stuff. Or, your homegirl can make a reel, 30 seconds saying, "This is dope, check it out." No, this it's just it reaches more people, it's more organic, that's the whole thing now. So, I mean, I think things are trending in that direction already.
mhm,
People are definitely looking for ways to cut costs, and that's not changing, especially the way the economy is right now.
yeah,
So I mean, as long as gas is almost $4 a gallon, hey, gonna find ways to keep cutting stuff. So yeah, I get it. Now that's not to say that there isn't still value in like true marketing teams and like you still need that stuff. You still need the brains behind these things, people who understand the strategies, the platforms, who know how to be efficient and larger systems and all this good stuff. When you're really trying to get into like the science of this stuff, you need to understand funnels and top of funnel, bottom of funnel, and know what your funnel looks like. Where is your audience at, and what are their buying behaviors? What are the different patterns that you need to look for? So it's a whole science to this stuff. And I learned this from like a year and a half of working with our digital marketing team at GE Healthcare. This is just what I learned I'm kind of being on the sidelines watching it. So I'm sure if you join the Creative Conservatory, Cydney gets into all of this and more. So make sure
Yeah.
you tap in with that and get them gems. But social agent, that sounds dope. And no, I think that Uber model is something that can be applicable in so many different spaces. I don't even know if you remember one, Jay, but when I was first starting Share the Vibes, I had like a Uber type idea that I had in mind. It's actually my business plan. I'll run that by you offline just in case I actually bring that back.
Yeah.
So we can make something shake with that. But yeah, I think that's a model that works because a lot of people are last minute. People procrastinate. People want to get things done without the full budget to get things done the way they probably want it done, but good enough to make it work. And Uber works for that. It's like, hey man, I just thought of something. All right, who's available in the next few hours to the next day or so? Can do it within this budget, this time frame, and you find out your audience, who's out there for you. Everybody's not for you, but you'll find out who is and who's
Yeah.
willing, and
True.
you go for it.
That's
You
true.
know, it makes sense. That's the way the world's moving. So, hey, so you mentioned something. So, because there's two other ventures that you mentioned to me before, and I wanted to get into. And I'm gonna bring them both up right now. So, you mentioned Pariah magazine, where you are the chief operations officer, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is still a an actual print magazine, which we don't see much of these days. So, definitely want to hear about that, like how you got into that, what's that's all about. What no what is it like to be in print media in 2026,
Yeah.
especially dealing with creatives who are largely on digital platforms. So that's a lot of not oxymorons there. Maybe juxtaposition is the word. I don't know. That's a word that I like, but I don't always know if I'm using it correctly. But I'm gonna say it. A lot of juxtaposition in there. So that, and then Lens of Adam. You mentioned that you in the this is the creator phase this summer, but you want to get into fashion later. So I know you're into fashion and photography. You mentioned that a little bit earlier. So Lens of Adam, photography company based out of South Carolina, that I think you're the chief communications officer for. So I think these two worlds intersect a lot. I don't know if you've made them intersect behind the scenes or not. We'll let you tell us. We won't get into the business of it. But Pariah Magazine, Lens of Adam magazine, print media, photography, fashion. Talk a bit about this.
So Pariah came from the same way we're having this conversation because we met at Charlotte Reciprocity Circle. I met one of our team members at Charlotte Reciprocity Circle, not in 2024, but I think 2023. Like, no, it might have been 2024. We met and she actually needed help with marketing at the time. And this is when I was still
Mm.
feeling that I was doing marketing, which I don't do that anymore because don't ask me for marketing. I can do it. I'd rather teach you how to do it than do it myself.
Yep, that's real.
So she needed help at that time, but we spoke, like, that one time that I saw her again, my friend Quana, like, our mutual friend Quana had, like, a skating, like, moment at Camp North End, and I
Mm.
pulled up to see her after I'd been with my family, like, and my dad was playing with, like, one of his drones, and me and, like, mom were there in the park, so I pulled up to see her and, like, support her, and she was there, and so we talked a little bit, and then I never like, when I say, we only interacted on Instagram after that, and hadn't really spoken to her, seeing her in person, and, like, in February? It was January, February of last year, she was like, "Hey, like, I have, like, 2 creatives that are, like, trying to do" like, sh I believe she did actually say that it was a magazine. They wanna make this magazine, and like, "I can do it." She's like, "But I think you'd be a better fit." And I was like and at the time, I was going through, like had lost my job, moved back home, like, all this stuff, and I was like, "I am in no mindset to do any of this, what is happening?" And the funny thing is, I talked about being part of Black Media Guild. That December, right before that happened, like, my friend, the just amazing content creator and everything else that she is, um, Miss Amber Kinney herself actually, like, reached out to me, like, "I want you to be part of Black Media Guild." I'm thinking, "Girl, I haven't posted content in, like, a month. What you talking about?" "What do you mean?" Because I just lost my job. What are we talking about? Uh, and so I joined that. I was writing a lot more then. I wasn't really, like, online, and then so I'm getting, like, all these things happening, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And the only explanation I had at the time was God. I still only have that explanation because that there's
Yeah.
no explanation at that
Mhm.
time. Um, and I was like Okay, and so we kept trying to meet up as, like, a team, like, these 4 people are trying to meet up. Her, me, Brent, who's a filmmaker here, he owns B Cinema Studios, and then Jarrett, who is the CEO and founder and creative director of Pariah Magazine. We all kept trying to meet up, and, like, it kept not working out. Things kept happening in my car, like, all this stuff, and I was like, "I'm literally about to just throw in the towel. Maybe God does not want this for me. Maybe I just got, like,
Mm.
I didn't thought so." And we finally ended up, like, scheduling a virtual meeting, and I thought she would also be there. What happened was she was not. Nobody else was there but me and Jerry, and so what I thought would be a 30-minute conversation ended up being a 2-hour conversation.
Ah,
Mm.
Like, not just what he was looking at doing with the magazine, which he had done before, but it'd been on a hiatus for 2 years. He actually had almost given up on it when, like, he met Tasia and he met Brent, and, like, it kind of, like, got kind of, gave life back to it. And so we had that conversation. He told me his testimony. I talked about mine. Like, we just really had this moment. And from that day on, when I say I probably talked to that man every single day, like we met up, I think this literally a year after I got let go as a director of operations for a company, like their entire company, they were like, "Yeah, we have to let you go effective immediately," like same day, same day.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
a year later, same day, February 21st, I was basically, like, on the team for Pariah, like, a year later, and it was crazy to me, and I was like, "This has to be God." And so, with Pariah, it is really about those same creatives that I'm trying to help, like, teach different things to, like, Pariah is basically the spotlight for them. Like, it's the spotlight, and that was before I had the Creative Conservatory. It's really the spotlight to, like, platform creatives that are all over. While we're starting in, like, North Carolina and Charlotte because that's, like, home, like, again, this is where I get the idea of, like, anywhere. Like, we could go anywhere with this because our whole job,
Yeah.
like, creators don't get the support that they need, and a lot of times they're getting support after they've done something that looks really great to everybody else, like, publicly.
mhm, that's
And
it.
Yep.
she was quite literally called While They Bloom because shout out to me and God for the name. 'Cause that was a whole moment, like, I was like, "Wait, I think I got the download for the name." And so I, like, texted Jared, and we were like, "This is it." Um, the same thing happened with our second issue, which is not out yet, but it's in the works. Uh, and it just, like our whole thing was we wanna give them flowers while they're happening, so we do have, like, we have an interview with William McNeely of Do Greater, like, one of our interviews is him, one of them is Jarrett, he is on the cover as much as he probably didn't wanna be. I was like, "Sir, I'm sorry, I think you have to be on other cover because technically we have 2. Then we have, like, different creatives that basically pulled our community, the people that we knew, that we wanted to give a spotlight to, like, we were like, "If you have a suggestion, that would be awesome, but, like, we wanna pull from our people first and let y'all know who we see every single day and get to see build this. Y'all don't see all the work that they put in, but when I tell you, like, they deserve their flowers now, they deserve their flowers now." And so we even highlight, like, what our question, Pariah's question is what makes you uncommon by design, which is basically what makes you different. If we when we're
Yeah.
out with the kids, because we do it's all ages, like, what makes you different? So then, like, it's 'cause I'm sure if we said uncommon by design, they'd be like, "What you talking about?" So, it's just this beautiful array of just so many different types, and yeah, we broke it down by, like, art and, like, different sectors of music and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's really about creatives coming together to, like, highlight each other and celebrate each other and be like, "You need to know this person," and it'll live forever in that print issue that we have,
Yeah.
which is available for pre-order. I'm just gonna plug that for iMagazine.
Hey, plug it. Tap in, Pariah Magazine. Now, is it because it is print? Is it available only in certain like stores, or where can we find Pariah Magazine?
So right now we are shipping as well.
Okay.
We don't have it in any stores yet, but we're already looking to like be able to put it there too. But we are
Okay.
only shipping in the US as of right now until we can figure out the logistics for be able to do that internationally, because especially because
Got
it's
it.
out right now. But yeah, I that is a beast within itself, everything that we have going on with it because it became much bigger than a magazine. It is not it's not I always say it's more than a magazine because it is, like, it's a whole
Yeah.
system, which is why I took the title brand world builder because I was like, "At this point, I'm not just building, like, a magazine, I'm building, like, okay, what does this actually look like if you're a part of this ecosystem? Who are the people who are coming into this, and how are we serving them, and why? And, like, making sure that we move with that intention every single time. It's kind of
Yeah.
Adam is still very new for me. I came in during my hiatus, basically, like, right before I, like, took that call, and so with, Adam Black, he is phenomenal. I saw him again, I think 2023, like, everything happened, like, around that time, the last few years, and so I went to my friend Lion Hairs, what she goes by online, to her event where she was one of the models of Project Eden, that Project 333 that he had, and she was like, "Come out with me," because she was like, "I wanna go by myself." So me and, her friend Lindsay, like, pulled up, who is also not my mutual friend. If Lindsay watches this, hi, Lindsay, because 'cause we're about to be getting and, like, literally at the end of the week,
Mm.
in Durham, and so life is crazy, and Lindsay's also a journalist for Pariah, putting my people on, I'm not playing it. Um we so I went there, he started talking about his next project at the, like, actual show, and I was like, "What is this project? I need to be a part of it," and it was
Mhm.
called the Eden Project. I said, "God, you've got to be kidding me." It could be any name. You could have picked any name in the world. You wanna
Yeah.
the Eden Project? Are you okay?
Mhm.
Okay, so I did that, and I was in front of his camera, but a lot of times when I'm at events, a big thing that I am known for is Imma catch all the content, and normally I just send it to people. I'm sure they're like,
Yeah.
"Why aren't you charging me for this?" I did That's not why I did it. I said, "I feel called to, like, just film this because that's the one complaint that everybody has when they have an event, whether they're a photographer, whether the host, whether, 'I didn't get any content, I didn't get any this.'" I say, "Here you go." Even the DJs
Mhm.
know that I'm the person that, like, if they were DJing at an event, I'm sending them
Mhm.
clips
Mhm.
I got of them during that moment. Like,
Much appreciated.
it's in the Dropbox. Find it. Now, if I can figure out which numbers it is, I'll tell you, but otherwise, you're gonna have to scour because a lot of times it's, like, over 100 videos or something, like, it's something crazy, and I'm like, "You just it's in there. If you need help, let me know."
Yeah.
And so I've been doing that for a long time, and so with him, I think he just, like, kept noticing, and he told me I did a, like, calling all creative video on Instagram. I just posted it because I was like, "I'm feeling really called to do this and be like, calling all creatives and basically promote yourself in my comments." Like, I've done it a few times now, but I'm like, I've even done it on Threads. Like, talk about yourself.
Yeah.
Sounds weird, but I want you to literally like, Sydney, it's your I know. I say what I said. He's
Right.
trying to get some of the comments. You never know who's paying. Um,
Yeah.
so I did that, and he actually was one of the people who, like, chimed in, which he knows me, so I was like, "Why did you just DM me?" But he was like, "I really, like, wanna, like, work," like, I think he basically, like, was like, "Imma shoot my shot," and so
Yeah.
he wanted to work with me, and I was like, "Cos, what are you talking about?" So when we actually got on, he was like, "Yeah, I've been wanting to work with you for, like, a year." The amount of times I've heard that in the last year is crazy. I'm like, "What? What is happening right now?"
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay." And so at first he wanted to call me because at the time last year I was being called the integrator online, which is basically like stick me in a role. I was like, "I could probably do that, but I probably will show you like a million other gaps that you already have and can probably fill those too. I'm not always perfect at them, but I bet you I can figure it out." And then you can
Yeah.
see who's a better fit. I'm that person because I'm so curious and I want to know. I will go learn it so that like we can make sure this is actually something that is gonna like long term not gonna like hinder you. And so that's like what I was going by. I wanted people who like knew that I can do this specific role, but I can do a lot more and just let me show you because that's how I moved in corporate and that's why I kept getting promoted even without a college degree because of who I was and what I could do. Because I
Mm.
was all willing to learn to do something different, to help feel and find alternative solutions that most people weren't even looking for because they were like, well, this is the rules and this is what I gotta go by. And I'm like, there are like, if you do your research, there's a little bit more like you can go past that. And it's still not, we're not breaking any rules because like this is actually within the company guidelines, but you gotta like look past.
Right. Right.
And so he was like, "Yeah, I've been wanting to work with you," and, like, so he gave me the breakdown, and it was, like, chief integration officer, and I sat there and I said, "I'm so tired." I was like, "I'm not doing this." So I was like, "I have to find something that is gonna serve what they need and what I'm seeing in the job description that they have given me, and, like, what I know I want to do more of." And I realized a lot of the issue was and this is a lot of issue, not just with, like, that like, what the list he gave me and what I was looking at, like, seemed to be, like, the pain points because it kept coming up, but, like, with other people that I'm working with, and I'm like, "I think I need to be a chief communications officer," because at this point "Huh?" And I was like, "Okay." I was like, so I told him, I sent it back to him, he's like, "Bet." So that is the title, even though I haven't done anything with that quite yet for them, 'cause they life has been lifing, and so I haven't been able to make
Mhm.
it, and the first event I'll be at with the team is actually coming up in May,
Okay.
and we're getting all of our, like, headshots and stuff done as a team, so it'll be a nice, like, thing to meet everybody that I haven't met yet,
Yeah. Yeah.
hang out and, like, learn more about what they need and what they're looking for, what the current challenges are, like, what has changed since December, because a lot can change in a few months, and really like, actually communicate not just internally, but externally, what is, like what are we building? Because I didn't know, like, until I looked at his website that, like, they were very much more luxury focused and much more about it being this whole world versus just it's a photography studio, which I always knew, like, it was more than a photography studio because of the types of events he puts on because it's an art show. It is never
Yeah.
like, "You're gonna come and look at a picture and that is it." Like, he has DJs, food, like, he does these like, sometimes they do, like, podcasts and, like, interviews and stuff like that. Like, it's just amazing what he puts on, but I was like, that means there's, like, also a communication, like, pain point there because people are not getting that part, and I need them to understand that because 'cause y'all are missing out on some good stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, when you're and we've even know that with Share the Vibes Fest in the past, is when you have these multi hyphenated spaces with different types of creators, um, different types of art, and there's really like you get a number there's multiple takeaways that you can get from the same event in the same space. Like it's kind of tough to communicate what the real message is, in the marketing. It's something that I think we all struggle with. I mean, even committee members have told me that it's like, man, you got music, you got tech, you got podcasting, there's vendors, there's food, there's drinks, there's music. It's a lot of different things happening, and just really, how do you package that into a brand message or a brand story that conveys what's really happening, that makes sense, that people can digest, in less than 10 seconds, 'cause they're short attention spans. How do you do that? And I think when you can figure that out, that's that magic sauce. And the common thread I've heard throughout the full conversation is going back to what you said at the very beginning is, hey, I find gaps. So I've been doing it all my life. I find gaps. So even as you're talking about being a pariah and you're like, no, I'm the brand world builder because I'm not just building a brand name. It's not just a logo. It's not just your content. No, I'm building the whole ecosystem. And when I hear all the different things you have going on, I mean, it sounds like you've created the ecosystem like yourself. I mean not necessarily yourself, but you've either created pieces of the ecosystem or your hand is in parts of the ecosystem. So I mean, the way I see it in my head, and I hope I'm not selling IP or nothing, but like I see the creators in Creative Conservatory being featured in Pariah magazine and being part of the storytelling through Lens of Adam. And once you get to Timpani House with your talent management going, it's an ongoing relationship that just brings it all full circle. It's like I see the whole ecosystem at play already. And it's funny that so it sounds like was that 2024? No, 2025 when you lost your job? You were let go?
It was 2024.
That was 2024. So I mean, it sounds like we keep talking about whatever God wants.
Mhm.
It sounds like that moment. It didn't feel like it at the time, but like hindsight, from what I'm hearing, I mean, it sounds like that was just like that pivotal moment where boom, the dominoes started falling, and it wasn't even making sense along the way.
Mhm.
But now in 2026, 2 years later, I'm looking back at it. I'm like, oh, it's all the pieces of the puzzle coming together now. But that moment had to happen. My guess is you were in a position where you were pretty comfortable. You said you're being promoted and all this good stuff, so you probably weren't leaving anytime soon of your own accord. So you probably had to be pushed out of there, where sometimes we need that little push. Um, but that's when the magic happens. So salute to you for riding that wave and allowing God to do what He wanted to do. And I think it's making sense now. And I think there's even something more powerful in that lesson because when things like that happen, it's very easy to shut down and like rebel against God, rebel against whatever, just want to be in isolation and sulk and feel sorry for yourself. And it's not saying that you shouldn't take time to do all those things, but at some point you should probably take time to sit back, reflect, and be still and see what's being spoken to you. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are the things you've been missing all along because you were too distracted, too busy to notice it? And when those things start aligning, you get the ecosystem that you've been speaking of. In your world, it's around branding. But no, in others' worlds, it might be other things. But um, be still enough to let the ecosystem, be built that we need to operate, in the calling and the assignment that we have. I think that's powerful. So that's a powerful story. So thanks for sharing all of that. Go ahead, my one Jesse. Your wheels turning.
No, I was just thinking of, well, I did have a question, about, for you, what, what are your qualms, if you have any, against, creators using AI?
Mm. I I think AI is a beautiful, just like money, just like social media, just like a lot of things, is a tool that can be used. A lot of times people look at AI and they're like, "Oh my gosh, stealing art and all this stuff." And I'm not saying that's not happening because it is. Di- the amount of things I've been like, "What do you mean they stole your whole likeness? What do you mean they stole this? What do you mean they're stealing your voice?" That one is trippy. Um, I think relying on any one thing too much and idolizing it is the problem. So like saying like AI everything is like crazy because like you still need the human touch. That's how you get people connected and invested. It can look cool, it can do all this stuff. I said, but at the end of the day, people fund people, and that is not my quote. That is William McNeely because I was watching the interview the other day said, "You're right. People fund people." I said, when like people are way more invested in the people behind something versus just the brand. Like,
Yeah.
some brands have that pull and stuff because of their names. But if you really think about it, it's like, yeah, like because everybody else has it, but like who started it? Like, who are people associating with that brand? Who was like related to it? And then you start to look at that and then you start to realize like how many people follow that brand and also that person. And anytime that person like buys something new from that brand, all of a sudden this person also has it. You like start connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Uh, I think again, I just like AI is one of those. I'm not completely entirely against it, and I'm not completely entirely for it because data centers and like the way it's destroying our actual like ecosystem on this earth, like the actual environments where data centers are being placed, all of that. I don't want to go there, but people know. um, I think it's being relied on too heavily by a lot of heavy hitters who actually have like the tools and the resources to not have to use it at all. So I'm sitting here like, why are you even using AI? Because you could just pay somebody to do that, but okay, because they want to keep their money. I understand that, but it just uh, and I don't like them, like I said, like taking art and like pulling from sources because AI is not actually like, it's not creating anything original. It's taking from other people and other things that have already been created. And it's not to say that we're not inspired by things, right? But AI is different. It's tech. It doesn't have that human touch. And so that's where we like lose a lot of stuff, lose a lot of the innovation and the ingenuity and the beautiful things about art and life. And because tech AI is never gonna go through what a lot of us have been through. So I will say that. So it's not evil. And I always say, like, people are using these things. People use money. People use social media. People use AI. So you got to look at that
Yeah.
like it's a people thing, and not just like this tech is evil. It didn't do anything but exist, and it didn't exist before somebody made it. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go back read that statement because I get why you're saying that, but it didn't ask for this. It didn't ask to be here. Same way, they didn't ask to be here. They're just here now. And work.
That's funny.
That's real. That is real. I have a question that I don't think we've ever asked a guest before. But I'm gonna do it. It's provocative, whatever they say. All right.
Okay.
How tall are you?
6'1".
6'1". Okay.
Hey, I never guessed that.
So and I asked that because I remember being at Charlotte Reciprocity Circle, and I think you might have had some like high heel boots or something on that day. I think you were taller than me that day. And I'm like 6'2", 6'3", something like that. I've been thinking I'm 6'3" since like college, and then I had a doctor's appointment a year or 2 ago. They told me I was 6'1.5". I'm like, "All right." I didn't make up 6'3". Like, I didn't just pull it out of nowhere. So somebody told me I was 6'3" at some point. So I've been struggling with a little identity crisis myself. So I just land on 6'2", just to be on the safe side. But nonetheless,
Middle.
you know, we talked about finding gaps, and a lot of those gaps being tied to identity. And we think about fashion and photography, media, content. These are spaces that's already nuanced for women, and for Black women. But now you add tall Black women into this mix, and I'm sure that's a different vantage point and a lens that you're seeing the world through already. So I want to talk about how has being a 6 foot plus Black woman um influenced your influencing? How has it influenced your creativity and your creation and how you approach, how you approach creativity? Let's go with that.
I mean, for the longest time, if I'm being completely honest, I just really struggled with my Blackness because I do not fit what culturally and, like, society, like, puts on, like, Black people and Black women specifically, and so I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, no." I was like, "What's going on?" And, like, the tall thing never really bothered me. It bothered a lot of people. A lot of people, a lot more people than I realized that I
Mm.
have the audacity to, like, wear heels or wear something. I had friends who were shorter than me that would say, like, "I could never wear heels." And I'd be staring like, you're not taller than me with heels on. You're taller than that guy, but, like, if you really have a problem with that, I feel like that should already be your sign of a red flag. It's 'cause
Yeah.
I feel like that shouldn't be like, if you're trying to be with is that what you're saying? Because I've had friends who, like, don't wear heels that they love and, like, shoes and things that they love because the guy they're with or their partner they're with doesn't like it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like that should be a conversation. I don't think I should know this about y'all's but we're here. And so for me, I grew up tomboy. So I grew up wearing men's clothes all the time because my mom makes a joke that my dad wanted a boy, which we had a brother like 5 years after me. So, but like I always was hanging with the boys too. So I always like had like the fits on. My mom made sure I was still dressed because she's like, "This is my daughter. Like, what are you doing?" So
Right. Yeah.
she was like, but I always had like cute bows and all that stuff. But I
Gotta have balance.
in the boys section for so long that, like, got older and realized none of the girls' clothes fit me, I was always in the men's section because, like, the shoes, the pants, like, trying to find jeans that fit my legs are the long like, so long, trying to
Mhm.
find, like, jeans, I was like like,
Mhm.
and so many things were high waters, if y'all know what I'm talking about, then you
Yep.
understand.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was like, I can't do this." And so it wasn't until and I'm not even gonna lie, it wasn't until I found a company. It was it was jeans were $70, I will never forget, and I
Oh.
was, like, in my teens, yeah. I was in my teens, and it was New York& Company at the time, and they were, like I could only get them in store because at the time, we weren't really shopping online like that.
Yeah.
Just sometimes 'cause I of course, I'm 35, so I grew up in that age where, like, we didn't have online stuff like that, and now, like, online,
Mhm.
I can't get away from it. And my cat might say hi, so that you hear a scream, that's her. While
Oh, that's cool.
Um, and so my mom bought them for me. I love those jeans. At some point they ripped, which is a whole different conversation that I'm sure many women and many people and especially many Black women have had to deal with jeans
Mhm.
because you're like, I love those jeans and they fit. Now I have to find a new pair, and then they don't
Yeah.
jeans anymore. So whole thing. So so I found those in New York Company. The fact that like a full circle moment happened where I started working with them and all their jeans fit. So thank goodness. Um, years and years later, but always the men's section. Shoes, same way. Always like if I'm getting kicks, they were always the men's section because the like
Mm.
guys had styles and I could actually fit them. Like I don't know my size in store and then having to shop online or shop somewhere else or order them. So it became that. And then I found Just Fab like a few years ago and they actually had size 12 like shoes consistently. And it wasn't like this like sparing thing where like I was looking in the store and hunting for the shoes and stuff like that. Like I go online and get my size in the shoe I wanted and it would get delivered to my house, like a $40
Yeah.
subscription, I think. And so I was like, I need this. And so a lot of those boots are still the ones I wear all the time. Like people now know me for my boots, which is hilarious to me. But like I had somebody literally say, those boots she's always wearing boots." And I'm like, "You know, you're right. Like, I don't care what season. It's summer." I'm like, "I'm wearing my boot. Your point is."
Yep, yep. Hey, if it works, it works.
So,
Right.
like, I think just being tall that has affected that in that way, but then being a black woman on top of that, and, like, you're grow as a young girl, I'm like, everybody called me skinny mini, and, like, I got called, like, a toothpick a lot because like, I was just, like, very, like, straight up and down, and then you grow up, and you got all these curves, and I gotta figure out how to dress that, and I'm just like, "I just figured out how to dress the other." Then, like, weight fluctuation to the hormones, like, the things that people be going through. I be like women especially, I'm like, "What? I did not ask for this." Why? On top of you want me to do everything else on top of having to go through this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? So, and I have natural hair on top of that, which is a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh my gosh," I'm tired all of the time of trying to find stuff, but I will say thrifting is my best friend. I find so many cool pieces thrifting, and not jeans, but, like, my skirts and, dresses and stuff like that. I get to wear a lot of stuff that shorter people don't get to wear because I like maxi dresses and
Yeah.
skirts and all those things look really great on me. But a lot of people are like, "I'm too short for this," so sometimes I also get their clothes because they're too short for those things, and I'll take it because I didn't have to pay for it. So yeah, it has impacted me in a lot of ways, and I think even, like, being a Southern Black woman who's also tall on top of that is a whole 'nother layer, and I'm just as you can tell by my voice, I'm just tired. No, I'm just thinking about it, I'm just like, "Oh my gosh." I'm glad I have enough clothes that I don't really have to think about it like that, but when I was first trying to do my wardrobe as I got older, yeah, no, I was struggling.
Yeah.
Nah, that's real. That's real.
Sundress season is among us. I forgot about that. It's coming.
It is
Yeah,
very
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, man, this has been a good conversation. We gonna wrap this up soon, but I'm glad we had you on here. A lot of gems throughout this conversation. I hope y'all been listening, taking notes, share this, clipping
Absolutely.
it up, whatever you want to do, and tag us in the clips if you have been clipping us up. We appreciate that. But yeah, man, this has been good. One maybe last question for order of business, and then I got just one kind of standard generic question. But my last question for you in terms of creation and content, not even just content, but creatively telling your brand story, like the Hive Hoedown. Like I think that was a very unique way to activate people around Beyonce's album. So a lot of our audience, musicians, music lovers, listeners. So for those in the music world, how should they be thinking about and approaching um, content and branding, through a creative way today to kind of like make their music, make their art stand out?
Ooh, so I would say, especially for music, because okay, so I have another example, and I absolutely adore her. So Tana Ardell, who, yes, did Interview
Yep.
with Catherine Carter, love her, but I actually found her on TikTok, like, years ago.
Mm.
She was doing Love You a Little Bit at the time, and I remember, like, just being, like, so excited for everything that she was doing, and I was like, "Who is this?" I was so fascinated. But the kinda I would pay attention to artists that are they seem like they're doing a little bit things a little bit differently because they're building worlds, not just building a story and, like, just for that one album, and then, like, it's like they don't ever touch that again, or they're, like, infusing everything is tied together. Those connecting the dots that I was talking about earlier, that's what I feel like musicians need to do, like, the songs may not correlate in the moment, but, like, finding a way to, like, maybe there's older stuff that you have because people okay, this is just for anybody. Y'all have older stuff that people have never seen that I guarantee you if you posted right now will probably go crazy because
Mhm.
nobody other people haven't seen
I
it.
know
Just
about
it takes people 7 times to see your stuff before they actually, like, make a decision about something. 7
that.
times.
Yeah.
You posted it one time 5 years ago, like, "We need to do better." So I'm like and sometimes that just is, like, reframing it too, it's repurposing it. So, like, maybe you do have an older song, maybe it's time to, like maybe it's something that you really love, but it really didn't do well at the time. Maybe you need to revisit it. Maybe it's a rewrite, maybe it's, like, some of the production, maybe it's something different. And because we have things like TikTok Live and Instagram Live and stuff like that now, you can really kind of invite people into that process, right? One of the other artists that I watched on TikTok when I was on it a lot more was Jay Parks. And he used to like when we would like come into his lives, he would sing our names sometimes. So he would like sing, like if he knew I was coming in, he would sing my name, and I'd be like sitting there like, oh my gosh, live in a world where this is happening. But he'd be, like, working on music, and he would play snippets of it and things like that. I watched A. Marie when she was actually, like, because she hadn't released music in a while, but she
Yeah.
was doing Instagram Lives in December, not of last year, but in 2024, I think, and she was popping on live, and I was up one morning, and I was like, "Why is she on live?" And then she was like, "I'm making a new album," and I said, "Excuse me?" So I said, "This is an artist I used to listen to back in the day, but loving
Right.
music," and so she was on live, and so she was playing clips of stuff, not finished things, but actually working and inviting people into the process. I think a lot more musicians, they don't have to release everything, they don't have to show everything, but showing little bits and pieces because it actually gets people excited because now they're like, "Oh, what does the rest of the song sound like?
Yeah.
Oh, like, do I get to be a part of this process?" You feel like you're a part of something exclusive, even if like a million other people are watching because you're watching it happen live. That live factor for musicians, I think a lot more people
Mhm.
should into. I really think creatives in general should tap into. I used to do small business snapshots on TikTok Live. For some reason, me like deciding to bring people on for 15 minutes and be like, "Who are you? What do you do? And like, how can I help you?" And people like to skip that last question, and I'm like, "No, we're not doing that here. You have
Mhm.
like you may not have an exact answer right now, but I need you to actually think about it." And a lot of
Yeah.
we still like I still talk to occasionally or all the time. So I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like I want to know how to help you because how can we help you if we don't know? Closed mouths don't get fed. Same thing
Oh,
with
no.
musicians.
Right.
Y'all can sing. If I could sing the way I want to sing, I would be so obnoxious. 'Cause I'd be
All the time.
like, exactly, and I'm like, maybe playing, like, your music at like, a lot of people do, like, music, like, they play it in the park, and they ask people to listen to it with headphones on, and then, like, you can hear it in reels and stuff, and, like, there's moments like that. They have people, like, freestyling. Musicians can collaborate together if they have similar sounds, or maybe people are comparing 2 people all the time, and they're like, "Oh my gosh," but they're actually, like, really, like, similar in, like, styles, and they don't actually have any beef. People are just being weird, which does happen, and they decide one day to collaborate. There's, like, things that people probably aren't thinking of because, like, it's just not common, and it's
Yeah.
again, finding that gap. What is that gap, and how can I, like, fill it? What would that look like if I actually played with a little bit? What does it look like if it's not just me and one other person? Maybe it's a group of us. Maybe we start inviting other people in, and it becomes this whole, we are the world kinda thing. Music together, and now people are like, "Wait, why does it even come about?" And then you get to tell that story, like, people really have to look at their music not as just, "I'm releasing this one song or this one album, and that's it." It really is you are telling a story, okay, like, whether you decide to do it on live, because some people might not like that aspect or not have the equipment for that or whatever, what have you, just never know.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it is like, okay, if you're not inviting him in that way with, like, a video, because maybe that's not your thing, are you more of a person who writes? Because Substack, I'm sure a lot of people know, is
Yeah.
popping. Everybody has a Substack at this point, pretty much. And so I'm like, get on Substack. Like, drop things that are maybe like slightly, maybe it's like you have like something, but you're getting stuck on this one part. And so, like, you're like, I can't figure this out. And you're trying to talk through the process, like maybe it's like, okay, like I got inspired by this song, and you're telling the story of how that song was even created, looking at it from the different lenses of the actual process versus just like, here's the finished product. Cause I think that's a lot of what like people think that musicians should only promote is the finished product. I'm like, no, I'm somebody who loves the
Yeah.
process. That's why I
Mhm.
watch
Yeah.
Beyonce film a million times, even though I've seen it. I've already seen it. I don't care. I'm like, do you know how much inspiration I get just from watching her and her
Yeah.
process? I was like, a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like, if I watch the process, they get inspired or they start asking like questions and they want to know more about the artist or like, how did they even get to that point or how did they even get there? Or they mention something, they're like, I haven't heard that song. And so I'm listening to the album that dropped like 5 years ago because I never knew that it even existed because they actually talked about it. So I think it's stuff like that that I would actually pay attention to for musicians. Again, I'm the person that they can tell me what they do in 15 minutes. And I probably can figure out some kind of strategy. I don't know why my brain works like that other than God. So we're going to go
Hey.
Oh.
Hey, it's a gift. Your gift will make room for you.
Mhm.
every time.
Absolutely. But one J, any last thoughts from you, brother?
No, I think this was a great conversation, in regards to, one of the things that stood out to me was filling the gap.
Mhm.
That is what businesses do. That is what, the top tier, I think I'm looking at my Apple iPhone, like, that's what, the iPhone did. The iPhone said, "Hey, we wanted to create this touch phone where you don't have to, where you can do all these different things. You can have music, you have the internet, and you can call people all in one phone. And that's
Yep.
what the iPhone decided to do. And of course, don't use that stylus. Use your fingers instead, right? So you have to have extra things. So all that little stuff. So content creators do the same thing. Fill in the gap. What is something that is not out there? Maybe the fitness market or the fitness niche is oversaturated. Well, what else can you add into the fitness that that could be creative? Is it comedy? Is it, I don't see too well, yeah, there's some there, but like maybe there's some type of a comedy thing that you're doing, that's something else that nobody else is doing. Like what can you do to fill in the gap to create a niche in the space for yourself that nobody else can do it? So when people are looking for that thing, they find you. And then of course it's beautiful when you have copyrights. I give an example, a gentleman, I forgot his name, I think his name is Derek Jr. He created the Dual Shot app. And one of the things he said, which allows you to shoot um, vertical and vertical
Oh
and
yeah.
horizontal, yeah, vertical and horizontal content at the same time. Revolutionary, right? He and I saw one of his Instagram posts. I thought he was a squirrel guy. He was the guy that does squirrels. I'm like, okay, where does this come from? So anybody can get into tech, but one of the things that he said was is that his app was trending in the marketplace, number one for a long time. And he said now all of a sudden there are knockoff apps all around. That's how you know you made it. When everybody else like, oh yeah, I should be. Oh, this is a great idea. So you have an idea when everyone else starts to do it, but be that person that people go to say, hey. So thank you for sharing that, and I think that's something that most people are going to take away from this conversation. So great conversation. I learned a lot myself. I might hop on school.
Absolutely. Yeah, tell him, man. Tap in, brother. Tap in, man. It's worth it. I need to hop into myself. I'm telling everybody else to tap in, but I need to get into myself because I need a good month of consistency. I actually have it in my notes to have like just 1 month. Where I'm taking 30 days, and every day I'm posting some type of DJ content, whether it's a
Yeah,
mix, whether it's a thought or a quote, clip from a gig. But I want to do that. I haven't done it yet. I haven't even sat down to start on it, but I know it's something I need to do.
Mhm.
So yeah, I need to hop in this accelerator to get my butt kicked and get my life together because I need it. But yeah, man, I think you both said it greatly. I would say, what is the problem that you're uniquely gifted to solve?
mhm,
There's one. There's at least one that we all are uniquely gifted to solve. And it may be a problem that other people are solving, but you're solving it in a unique way or a different way. So I would challenge everyone who's listening, who's watching, think about that. What are the problems that you are uniquely gifted to solve? What are the processes that you enjoy that other people may not enjoy? What are the things that you find to be fun, cool, interesting that others are like, absolutely not.
mm,
Again, what are the things that annoy you?
yeah,
There we go. Those are all signs of where your gifting probably lies. So tap into that. Don't ignore it. There's value in that space. So thanks again, Cydney, for tapping in with us. Charlotte's creative cheerleader, the brand world builder, all of that good stuff. We're so glad to have you. So many gems dropped tonight, man. This, this,
yeah,
this is a good one. So hey, man, make sure y'all tap in and soak it all up. And get it while it's free. Get it while it's free, because it won't be free forever. So get it while it's free. I'm gonna speak it over if she won't speak it. It won't be free forever. So get it while it is. But
yeah.
hey, how can people stay connected with you and tap in with all you have going on?
Oh my gosh, a million different ways, but like I said, I'm always on Instagram, so the Cydney Ray is the easiest way, to tap in because all my links and everything are there, and I actually get on there. I'm mostly on Threads though, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really I used to be on Instagram Stories a lot, not on there a lot. I'm literally on Threads all the time. So if you see me on Threads, like, randomly, that is the algorithm being like, "Here, connect with her." So just follow. Like 9 times out of 10, I follow back. Not always, because I don't believe in follow for follow. That is my cat saying she's tired, ready for me to come to bed. But yeah, like I don't always follow back because I don't believe in that. I think it defeats the purpose of actually connecting with people and building community. But that's a different lesson for a different day.
Hey, well, we linked it for you in the description right there. So click that, go follow Cydney and tap in with all she has going on. Apply for the the Creative Conservatory. Get in there, all the creators, man. Get in there on this opportunity, man. You heard a snippet of how her brain works tonight, and a lot of the strategy and the jewels she has to drop on you, so you know it'll be worth the while. So tap in, man. Hey, if you're still watching or you're still rocking with us at this point, you love us. So thank you. Like, share, subscribe, comment below, click that bell so you know when we post. Share this with somebody. You've heard the conversation now. What excuse you got? You heard the conversation now. So now share it. Press share it, and send it to that person you know who needs to hear this, who's been saying they was gonna make a reel for the last 3 months and ain't did it yet. Send this to that person, so we can get them rocking in motion. So hey, man, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all as always. Thanks for rocking with us. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, keep sharing the vibes. Peace.
Peace.